joining us, everyone. I'm Tammy Fields.
And I'm Greg Angel. This is Spectrum News in 90 seconds. The state attorney's office in Volusia County filing a motion to revoke the bond of the man accused of driving drunk and killing a 17-year-old New Smyrna Beach High School student in a crash. If the judge grants the motion, Michael Miles, who you see here, will have to report back to jail.
Orange County Commissioner Emily Bonilla is calling for temporary rent control to help with rising rent prices. That would prohibit properties with 4 or more units from raising the rent higher than 5% in a 12-month period.
The jury that will decide whether Florida school shooter Nicholas Cruz gets the death penalty will tour the building where he murdered 17 people 4 years ago. Cruz's lawyers say the tour is unnecessary since he pleaded guilty, and the jury will only decide if he gets the death penalty.
Now check up your weather with Central Florida's only team of dual certified meteorologists.
After a hot and humid Tuesday, we're in for a warm and muggy night. I'm meteorologist Chris Gilson looking at temperatures only dipping down into the upper 60s across the north and Ocala and Palm Coast and Daytona Beach, lower 70s for many spots. So it'll be a warm and muggy start and a hot and humid Wednesday afternoon. High temperatures back into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees with a chance for some late day showers and storms tomorrow. Now we do have a cold front that's going to bring some big changes. We're looking at the temperatures tumbling a bit as we head into the upcoming weekend.
A new report is shedding new light into the growing problem of skyrocketing rent prices right here in Central Florida.
Yeah, according to real estate tech company Stessa, rent prices in our area are well above the national average. Their figures show the Orlando metro area has a median rent estimate of $1,678. Now compare that to the national average of $1,435. Out of all the large metros, Orlando has the 14th highest median rent estimate. And take a look at this from rent.com. This takes a closer look at rent prices in Orlando, and its numbers indicate renters are paying 36% more than they were just a year ago. And that ring you see there, most of it is bright blue. That means 63% of renters are paying $2,000 or higher a month to keep a roof over their head.
To help combat rising rent, Orange County Commissioner Emily Bonilla is calling for temporary rent control.
And she is not alone. Spectrum News 13's Asher Wildman in Orlando talking with some of those caught in the middle who say this is a crisis that's out of control. Now, from a legal standpoint, the push for rent control could run into a snag. Florida law actually prevents local governments from enacting rent control measures unless it is necessary to eliminate a, quote, existing housing emergency, which is so grave as to constitute a serious menace to the general public, end quote. But here's the thing. A recent memo from the Orange County Attorney's Office to Mayor Dimmings noted no Florida courts have interpreted what that phrase actually means. The memo also notes that despite that, the city of Tampa, Miami-Dade County both recently passed rent control measures. Prominent civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump inspected the Orlando freefall ride with his team. He's representing the father of Tyree Sampson. He's the 14-year-old who fell from the ride last month. We saw the team checking shoulder harnesses, seats, and taking measurements. Another attorney, this one for Tyree's mother, says there is blame to share here. Michael Haggard argues Tyree should have never been allowed on the ride to begin with because he was over the weight limit.
Whether the sensors triggered wrong and let it go up when it wasn't properly locked, or whether he came through because of the design of the ride, it all comes together.
Well, the ride's operating group has said the harnesses have to lock in or the ride won't operate. State inspectors and the Orange County Sheriff's Office are also investigating what happened.
The New Smyrna Beach High School community held this candlelight vigil on Tuesday night for a 17-year-old killed in a crash this weekend. Court documents show that Siddharth Sukhdeo died after his family's minivan was struck from behind by a suspected drunk driver. Vigil organizers say Sukhdeo is being remembered as a talented musician and loving band member at school. Another community event will be held at the Brannon Center on Thursday at 8 p.m.
Florida Highway Patrol troopers have arrested a man who they say was behind the wheel of a deadly hit-and-run crash. 30-year-old Miguel Valero Gonzalez was arrested with the help of troopers and Orange County Sheriff deputies. Investigators say a woman was hit by the driver of a box truck on Curry Ford Road near State Road 417. Investigators say she was outside of her car when she was hit. A Samaritan actually followed, who troopers say was Gonzalez driving that truck. That Samaritan called 911, providing law enforcement with the vehicle description. There are more than 500,000 people in Florida living with Alzheimer's disease.
We're going to show you how a new program launched here will focus on early detection. Keep it here, everyone. Back in a moment.
A summer-like feel on this Tuesday. Temperatures around 90 degrees. That humidity is back. And we have some showers out there this evening. I'm meteorologist Chris Gilson. Let's take you out to Volusia County. The Ruin Ziffer weather camera at the Ocean Deck Restaurant, Daytona Beach. Some folks out trying to escape that heat and humidity along the coast. Earlier, we did have some showers around Volusia County too this evening. Now, most of the active weather today is along this potent cold front that's working through portions of the panhandle of Florida into Georgia, South and North Carolina. And they're contending with a lot of severe weather there this evening. Now, we're going to be watching this cold front that's a little bit farther to the north and west. That's going to slide through on Thursday, and it's going to bring significant changes to our temperatures in this right here. Overnight, temperatures into the lower 70s, and then as we head into your Wednesday, temperatures upper 80s and lower 90s. Take a look at the weekend. We're down into the 70s with that low humidity. And with that drier air in place, that will lead to some cooler mornings. We'll show you those chilly mornings that are ahead in the extended forecast in less than 10. Right now, it's a live look at Klystron 13.
The Senate reached a bipartisan deal to provide an additional $10 billion in COVID-19 assistance, but it's less than half of what the White House originally requested. It would allow the Biden administration to purchase more vaccines and therapeutics, as well as maintain testing capacity and research. But it does not include $5 billion in funding for global COVID-19 aid, nor would it replenish the program that pays for testing, treating, and vaccinating the uninsured.
Consider this, there are more than 580,000 people with Alzheimer's disease living in Florida. That is more than any other state except California.
Spectrum News 13's Sarah Blazones tells us about a new program launched here that the Alzheimer's Association is calling unprecedented public health initiative that's aimed at early detection.
So, there are things that happen at Gatorland behind the gate that you might not know about. I'm Allison Walker. You are about to meet the guy, the Gator expert, who pretty much knows all of these guys' names. What? On the Town is next.
Here are your winning lottery numbers.
We hit 91 degrees on Tuesday afternoon in Orlando, and we're going to see similar high temperatures return as we head into your Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Chris Gilson with your weather on the ones. Here's a look at the forecast highs as we go through Wednesday, Thursday, and into the upcoming weekend. That's pollen. It's staying high here through the end of the week. Pollen forecasts brought to you by Van Dingen & Law. Mariners, of course, that storm chance tomorrow afternoon. Seas running at 2 to 3 feet. Still breezy to windy. Winds out of the south at 10 to 20 knots. The extended forecast showing that rain chance on Thursday with the cold front that moves through. We dry out, clear out in time for the weekend. Notice these morning temperatures down into the 40s and 50s over the weekend. Then we warm back up into the middle 80s by Monday and Tuesday. Right now, it's Klystron 13.
Well, Behind the gates at Gatorland is some pretty daring stuff that is done to keep their alligators happy.
Spectrum News 13's Allison Walker goes on the town from the Orlando theme park and into an area that's off limits to the public.
Well, more COVID relief could be on the way for restaurants. We're going to show you why a previous fund is getting the attention of lawmakers. That much more as we continue here on Spectrum News 13.
On the next Justice for All, we're talking about book censorship in America.
All of a sudden, books were being challenged right here at our school, and it was kind of a wake-up call like, oh, wow, you know, this can kind of happen wherever, and it is going to directly affect us.
Books are disappearing from the shelves of schools for being, quote, inappropriate for children. It's a movement we address with a panel of experts who shared very different viewpoints.
If they were movies, they would be rated R and would not be allowed in K-12 schools.
And so we can keep having this circular conversation, thinking that books, for some reason, is the only access point for teens to get this information. But I want to be very, very clear. Teens, children, and I'm going to say children, can find these things much quicker than these books that everyone is naming.
It's a passionate conversation you'll want to check out. Justice for All, Book Censorship in America, airs Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Spectrum News. We're glad you're here. I'm Tammy Fields.
And I'm Greg Angel. Here are your top stories and weather in 90 seconds. A jury has now been seated in Pasco County, just north of Tampa, to hear the state's case against Walgreens and the opioid crisis. Opening statements are set to happen early next week.
Blue Origin is looking to create its own satellite internet constellation similar to SpaceX's Starlink. The company announced contracts to launch up to 83 missions to send those satellites to low Earth orbit. 2 out of the 3 rockets chosen will be launching from the Space Coast.
A Sumter County commissioner arrested for perjury is now filed to try to get his old job back. Former Commissioner Orrin Miller from the Villages officially filed to run for office again. He was arrested in January for perjury charges after allegations came out that he used a personal cell phone to talk with a fellow commissioner about professional business.
Now check up your weather with Central Florida's only team of dual certified meteorologists.
We're going to be watching a cold front move in by the end of the week to bring us some big weekend changes. Today, we had a few showers around. Those showers will quiet down as we head into the overnight hours. Notice all the active weather, though, to the north in Georgia and the Carolinas. Unfortunately, severe weather ongoing there tonight. Temperatures here will dip down into the upper 60s and lower 70s, so pretty warm overnight. A warm start to your Wednesday, giving way to kind of a toasty afternoon with temperatures into the upper 80s and lower 90s and a chance for some late day showers and storms tomorrow.
For about a year, an effort has been underway to get a COVID relief program specifically for bars and restaurants refunded. That's after the initial appropriation was used up before all restaurants and bars needing help got it. Now
legislation is up again and under consideration. Spectrum News 13's Angie Gonzalez has more for us from our Washington bureau. Now to the war in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the United Nations Security Council.
His speech came a day after President Zelensky witnessed firsthand, he says, the destruction in Bucha, a suburb of Kyiv. Via video call, Zelensky described the terror allegedly inflicted by the Russian military. There are reports of women being raped and killed in front of their children, entire families murdered, and tanks crushing people inside their car.
Today, as a result of Russia's actions in our country, in Ukraine, the most terrible war crimes of all times we see since the end of World War II, and they are being committed.
The United States and its European allies will impose new sanctions on Wednesday. New investments in Russia will be banned. Even tougher sanctions will be implemented against the country's banks and government-owned enterprises, and more sanctions will be placed on Russian officials and their family members.
Well, consider this. A new study found road rage shootings are on the rise in the U.S., up every year since 2018, peaking in 2021. Gun control advocacy groups like Everytown for Gun Safety Support Fund looked at the numbers from the Gun Violence Archives database, and they found an average of 44 people a month were killed or hurt in road rage shootings in 2021. That is double the average compared to 2019. The group says they don't know really what's causing the increase, but the pandemic's added stress may be a big factor.
Just here in Central Florida, we have had several incidents so far this year. A man is behind bars for multiple Orange County road rage shootings back in February. According to law enforcement, 19-year-old Emmanuel Bullard confessed to every shooting and using an AK-style pistol. Osceola County deputies arrested Anthony Falu Jr. the same month. He is accused of shooting a pedestrian twice. Witness reports led deputies to his apartment. Among the charges he faces, attempted murder.
Well, Orlando International Airport is landing more and more takeoffs. Leaders at MCO say their traffic more than doubled between January and February of this year. 3.4 million passengers passed through in January, 7.1 million in February. Airport leaders say Speed Week's event and the spring break travel season really pushing the increase. Compared to February 2021, domestic and international traffic was up almost 83%.
JetBlue Airways is trying to buy Florida-based Spirit Airlines and break up a plan for Spirit to merge with fellow budget airline Frontier. Spirit said that JetBlue offered about $3.6 billion, adding its board will evaluate the JetBlue bid and decide what's best for its shareholders. The JetBlue offer is about 40% higher than the value of Frontier's bid. Spirit shares soared after the New York Times first reported JetBlue's bid. The push to give parents more purview over their kids' education is creating new questions about censorship.
Still ahead, we are searching for the line between transparency and censorship. That conversation still ahead here on Spectrum News 13.
Out and about today on this Tuesday, you notice that warmth and really that humidity. It is back in full force, and today those temperatures climbed into the lower 90s. More of the same ahead for your Wednesday. Let's take you out to the skies that we had over downtown Orlando and Lake Eola from the FBC Mortgage Weather Cam. Just some cumulus clouds bubbling up during the afternoon. We did have some showers around. We will have that chance for more late day showers and thunderstorms as we head into your Wednesday. Now here's a look at the high temperatures for Tuesday. We hit 91 in Orlando, average highs in the lower 80s. 90 in Sanford today, upper 80s in Titusville, middle 80s in Melbourne, hit 88 in Ocala. We'll have pretty much the same temperatures for your Wednesday. Now the big weather story is not too far away. To the north, a lot of severe weather this evening. You can see the activity here in portions of southeast Georgia into northern Florida, into South Carolina. A lot of concerns for tornadic activity there along that cold front. You're going to like the weekend. We're talking about some cooler temperatures. We'll show you that dip in the temperatures in the extended forecast in less than 10 minutes.
Is it curriculum transparency or an avenue for book banning? A new Florida law, it lets parents review all instructional materials before a school district decides on them and object to anything that they deem inappropriate.
Now, supporters say it is all about parent choice. Critics argue it's the LGBTQ plus community they've deemed inappropriate. Here's Spectrum News 13's Rebecca Turco.
People age 50 and up can get another COVID booster, but what about everyone else?
When the FDA will have their say on who else needs one and who doesn't.
A few showers around this evening, and we're going to see that chance for a few late day showers and storms on your Wednesday too. Kind of feeling like summer, and with those afternoon and evening showers, storm chances kind of sounds like summer. But we do have a cold front, a late season cold front, that's going to bring some bigger changes as we head into the upcoming weekend. Here's a look at the extended forecast. We're going to be into the upper 80s, lower 90s for air temperatures tomorrow. Upper 80s on Thursday. Then we clear out, dry out on Friday. Beautiful sunshine Saturday and Sunday. Notice those morning lows, lower 50s, some 40s to the north, and then we're back into the middle 80s by Monday and Tuesday. Right now, it's Klystron 13.
Let's talk your health, and something here, at least I know I can relate to this.
Me too.
A new study says if you're not sleeping enough, you may also be gaining some weight.
Mayo Clinic researchers found a link between unhealthy abdominal fat and the number of hours that you sleep at night. They say lack of sleep makes us eat more frequently, especially foods high in carbs and fat, as the body craves energy fuel, which we usually get from a good night's sleep. Short sleep can also affect metabolism and appetite regulation. The study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology.
Long COVID is real.
The Biden administration announced today it is focusing on a way to prevent, detect, and treat long COVID.
Yeah, that's when your symptoms last for weeks or even months. New presidential COVID-19 Health Equity Task Force is going to be focusing on delivering what they say is high quality care to the millions of Americans experiencing long COVID.
Not the best day on Wall Street. Stocks closed lower and bond yields jumped.
Yeah, take a look here at the market and you can see Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500, they all ended in the red.
The CEO of Orlando-based Red Lobster is stepping down after just 8 months on the job. Our partners at the Orlando Sentinel report that Kelly Valade is resigning this month.
Now, she didn't give a reason for the move, but a restaurant analyst says Valade has a strong reputation in the industry, so her resignation could be a, quote, bad signal for future Red Lobster CEOs. Red Lobster thanked Valade for her service, now searching for a replacement.
Here's a look at how some businesses with Central Florida ties performed today. Disney ended the day down, while L3Harris Technologies and Lockheed Martin ended the day with gains.
SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk is now joining Twitter's corporate leadership. The company says Musk will get a seat on the board of directors, and while serving as a member, Musk, either alone or as part of the group, will not be allowed to own more than 14.9% of Twitter's outstanding stock. World's richest man is already promising to make some significant improvements in the coming month. He's asking his 80 million followers if they would like to add the edit option to tweets.
Now let's take a look at what's happening in our community, brought to you by the expert injury attorneys at Todd Minor Law.